Well, good morning, Reverend Charlene. This is Ken Fendrick with my evaluation for our Homiletics 1 course. Three of the main takeaways I had from this. Number one, I really enjoyed creating the videos. I had this experience years ago. I had a TV show in Alaska. It was a musical television show where I was a co-host. So I'm used to being on camera. However, it's been a long time since I've done it on a regular basis, so it was really good to get reacquainted with those skills. And especially in terms of ministry and preaching, I'm used to standing up and moving around quite a bit. So sitting during my talks has really helped me focus on the message as opposed to moving around too much. I love the fact that I can review my talks, I can review my points, because sometimes hearing it or seeing it helps you see it again in a different light and to make corrections where you need to. But it's a very powerful medium. I believe video, even more so than person to person sometimes, is more powerful. And in today's day and age with the internet and videos and blogs and stuff, it's where we need to be in ministry, I believe. We need to be comfortable with this medium and be able to communicate our message in an effective way, not only on the pulpits on Sunday in person in a live congregation, but in a video arena too, because most of these services are live streaming now. We're doing vlogs and all kinds of things. The other thing I found helpful was out of the Lowry book. And what I really liked, I loved all the techniques. I used quite a few of them. What was interesting for me was it's taken me a while to get his terminology, because I do Toastmasters and I'm used to a different set of terms, but they're basically the same things. But what I really liked about this book is when we got into the actual sermons, I like how he broke down the sermons, and he kind of broke them down into sections. And so when I did this, when you had us do this on our last talk, it was really helpful. But it's funny because I didn't have my talk all written out. You know, most of the time I go by key points and just sort of roll with it. And what I found was I did on my video is I closed captioned it, so I could have all the words would appear as I was speaking them. And then I typed everything out, copied everything, and I was able to really look at my speech and writing and break it down kind of how Lowry did. So I found that exercise very useful, and I'm going to play with that as well as these other tools. And he's got other books which I'm going to check out as well, because this one was only parables, but he's got like 5 or 6 other books that I really found interesting. But what I found most helpful was from the Heisler book, the Spirit-Led Preaching. And in context of the last couple days, this last week, and preparing for my final talk, it really brought home that point that we have to live through Spirit, that we have to let Spirit drive us not only in our preaching, but in our whole life. We have to have that connection in each and every moment. It's not just a switch we turn on when we do our talk. It's something that we have to live and breathe each moment for it to be there. And what I found is last night I was experiencing a lot of frustration in my talk. I took the time with my verse. I did the 8 points. I felt it. I had a personal story behind it, and I just could not get it. I had my talk written out. I had some good points, and it just was not happening. I had probably 135. I've lost count of the takes, but it was quite a few. And I was frustrated. And it was late last night. It was around 10 o'clock, and I don't know how many extra takes I did. And I was done. I was fried. I was literally fried. I was in tears. I was just so fried. And so I went to bed. I just said, I'm done. I went to bed on it. And I woke up this morning, and Spirit had just been guiding me, saying, you know what? Forget all that. Be yourself. Be authentic. Share that experience in your talk. And that's what I did. And it came out. I was able to at least get something on tape. I had to amend it because it actually ran 20 minutes and I couldn't fit it on YouTube. But it drove home the point of Heisler's book and Spirit-Led Preaching, that we have to have Spirit in that. And that when we're trying to fight it, and we know when we're fighting it because it just isn't working. It's not. It's like putting square blocks into a round hole. You're not going to do it. And I was fighting it and fighting it and fighting it, and finally I just gave up and gave myself, I was at a point where I was on my knees. I was in tears, and I was so frustrated because this is something that comes fairly easy to me. This is one of my superpowers, my strengths, and I was not able to use that. So that was my huge takeaway from this class, and it came at the last minute. So Reverend Charlene, thank you so much for the class. Anything to improve? You might want to look at your videos and how you come across great. I love you, and you bring a smile to my face every time I watch you. And I don't think we'd be allowed to sit together at a unity function because we'd probably get in trouble. Because we both have a sense of humor. But some of the videos were cutting out. There were chunks that would freeze, and that was a little distracting as a viewer. But I love the class, and I cannot wait to take Homiletics 2. So bless you in this next term. I hope to see you in Homiletics 2. I'm not sure how my schedule's going to look just yet, but I know our paths will cross again. So blessings to you, and namaste. Bye-bye.